Hey everyone, this video I'm going to talk about getting rid of those annoying calls on your landline. Out of area calls, you name it. There's three things you need. You need a computer, a modem, and the software. The software is Call Screener version 2 is what I use, but there's a version 4. You can get that at bytesandpieces.org. Once you have the software, make sure you have a modem. This is an old modem, and this is what I use. It's model A40. It's an HP modem. You can get modems for 10 to 20 bucks. The software is free, and get a computer. It doesn't have to be fast. I had a 2001 computer still running. It still works, but the CD-ROM doesn't work. So I put it in my Windows 7, another used computer, and it works great. Let me show you the website. It has a lot of customized things to it, a lot of customization you can do. There's suggestive modems that you can use that works with this software. Of course, if you can't find the drivers, there's always go to Softpedia and have driver pack. Download that. It has some drivers on it. You can also go to Softpedia for Call Screener version 2. It's up there. There's a lot of customized items. You have block.txt. It's just a text file used to block all your numbers, and here is mine. The area codes there are all bunched together, and I had to do that to save space. But if you have a number, it has to be on one line only. But I bunched them up there. But follow the directions. It gives you examples. You can do partial numbers, area code only, just all kinds of different versions. There's some rules. Take a look at the rules. I also put underneath the number what the caller ID said they were. I just like doing that. Otherwise, it's just a jumble of numbers. And it works like a charm. It will initially ring once because it takes a while for the caller ID to register with the software. So usually it gets one ring and that's it. If it's an out of area call or whatever I've specified, 800 numbers, whatever it is, it will block them. It will answer and hang up. Or, as you can see on the highlighted line, right above that, it has a customized wave file. So you can have customized greetings however you want it, for individual phone numbers or for all phone numbers. And look at the info or the README file for details on that. I've used that and it actually works. It will play the WAV file until it's done, and it's great. There is a whitelist. There is a all calls received and a received text file, and it holds, like I said, all the phone calls coming in, the received, and it'll give you the number, the name on the caller ID, and if it was blocked or if it was let through. So good piece of free software. I use it all the time. The only tough part is finding the right modem for you. I haven't tried internal modems. I've only tried USB modems. But it shouldn't be too much of a cost for the satisfaction you get of stopping those calls in their tracks. It leaves the guesswork out of, getting up, seeing who it is. Like I said, I've got a list of all kinds of 800 numbers and stuff I've gotten over the years. I think I've had this program the call screener. I think I've used it since 2014, and I think I stopped using it at 2016 because the calls just all stopped. I wasn't getting any calls for a half a year, so I just stopped having my computer on. And since it was 2001, make sure that your computer can go to sleep and wake up. That's why I just recently moved the 7960. I got in 2001. It won't go to sleep, and I needed that functionality to save a little bit on the bills. So to get more in depth on how I do this, I should enter a link to my setup. I have some script, like I'll have program, I'll have near command, which is free, and that will send keystrokes to whatever's running. So I'll have the software come up. Once the computer boots, it will automatically run a batch file, and it'll run call screener. Now I have near command, wait a couple seconds, basically to run the whole thing because I want it to be the last thing I run. So it'll pause like 24 seconds so everything gets loaded. Then I will have call screener run. Now it has to actually have the enter key or you to click the one button inside of it for it to work. So I've set up near command to send keystroke enter, and then it just starts it running, and then I have a program to minimize all windows, and I just run that and it just minimizes everything. Okay, so your call screener, if it's working, if your modem's installed and everything, it should be working fine. And that's how I leave it. So I have that to come to wake up at 7 a.m. So I'll wait until the end of the day, and I'll have in my task scheduler, this is all done by task scheduler now. You schedule 7 a.m. or whatever time you want it to start to wake up. Then at the end of the day, you'll have another task called Restart PC. Because if you leave this just sleeping, waking, within a couple days, your computer's going to start to act funny. So I just restart it like at 5 o'clock. So it gets out of call screener. I've got some script for that. It just brings, using near command, it brings call screener up, and then tab, and then enter, and then it stops the call screener. And at that point, I restart the computer using shutdown.exe. So then it restarts, and then I have task scheduler for 10 minutes after I restart it to go to sleep. And there's individual programs. There's sleep.exe. They have new versions. That one's quite nice. I also had at one point a program called wakeup.exe. That does a good job at waking things up. But I tried to do it all with task scheduler to wake up the PC. And there's, you don't really run a script. You run the command.exe, the cmd.exe, and then the arguments are / I think question mark, and in parentheses exit. And you'll have to look at that, maybe Google that to see what the specifics are. But it just basically has something to run. I suppose it could be a batch file too. That really doesn't do much, but just has something to do. So once you've put it to sleep, you're good to go because you've restarted it at the end of the day and then put it to sleep 10 minutes later. So it should be okay. And at no point do you want to take the modem out. You always want to leave it in the same spot. Mark it if you have to. Make a note of it. Otherwise, you're going to have to put it in the exact same spot if you're lucky, or reinstall the drivers. So I don't think there's anything else to be said about calling or screen caller software. Version 2 works. With the new Windows, make sure, or your computer, make sure it has the capability of waking up and sleeping. Oh, and you'll have to go in there, I think in Control Panel, and make sure that this does not wake up on a phone call. Otherwise, when it's asleep, if you get a phone call during the night, it'll just wake up the computer. So I'd make sure that's uncheck marked. It should only wake up when the task scheduler tells it to. You can do further things too. Schedule defrag, but it's really not necessary. You can have your computer also do different things. Another example, if you have a media like a Plex server, you can get that for free. You do need to have, there's a free, you can join up to be a member for free. And that can organize your storage devices. There's a whole other software that you can have going too, but Plex Media Server can organize all your media through your network storage devices, if you have such a thing, which I have too, or a NAS. It can sit on there and have all your media sitting on there for you to stream at any time, any day. So that's just a few things you could add, so your computer's actually doing something. If you're really bold, you can do the Bitcoin miner thing. I don't know what else. If there's any other suggestions on what you can add to a PC that's on all day to have it do something, leave them down in the comments section. If you have any other comments or questions, leave them down in the comments section. I'll try to get a link to the software. That's bitsandpieces.org. And if you have any other questions, just make sure they're down there, and I'll try to get to them. And hope this has been informative. Hope you can stop all those annoying calls out there, and catch you next time.